Today I'll show you how to make these delicious gingerbread Pop-Tarts. These are flaky pockets of eggnog pastries filled with a gingerbread filling and topped with an eggnog icing, scattered with a little bit of sprinkles for some crunch. I am Kat, owner of Charm and Chic Baking, and welcome to my channel. This recipe is taken from the latest edition of the Food and Drink magazine, Holiday 2025 edition, and it is going to be my first time making it, so I will try it out and give you my honest opinion and make any tweaks if necessary. There are 3 parts to this recipe: pastry, the filling, and the icing. This recipe makes 5 Pop-Tarts, and I will put the ingredients in the description below, but you can easily double it. Start by combining the flour and salt in a food processor and pulse until combined. Next, add the butter and pulse until crumbly with some larger pieces. I calculated this to be about 20 pulses. Next, drizzle in the eggnog and pulse until the dough comes together. The recipe calls for 60 ml, which is 4 tablespoons, but I end up using only about 3. And even that I found a little bit sticky, so you might want to start with 2.5. Also, it really depends on how you measure your flour. If you're weighing it, you'll be weighing more accurately than if you were to measure by volume. Some people measure a cup of flour to be 120 grams and some to be 130. So my take is 120 per 1 cup. Next, pat the dough out into a square or rectangle and wrap with plastic wrap. Then refrigerate for 1 hour. This allows the butter to harden and creates those nice flaky layers. The next part says, on a well-floured work surface, roll the dough out to 1/8 to 1/4 inch. So I started with the 1/4, but I realized that this was way too thick because that's usually what I use to roll out sugar cookies. I'm not using any additional flour. I actually just roll in between 2 sheets of plastic wrap, but you can choose as you wish, and it really depends on how sticky your dough is. So I'm going to actually be changing this to 1/8 of an inch using the spacer on this rolling pin. I really do love this rolling pin for this reason. It's really easy to use and creates really smooth and even dough. I use this for my sugar cookies as well. So I'm going to be rolling this out to 1/8 and see how that works out. So I rolled this out to 1/8 of an inch and I still find it too thick, and there's no way that you're going to get 10 rectangles out of this. So I'm going to be reducing this again to 1/16 of an inch. So I've changed the spacer to 1/16 of an inch, and this is the thickness that you want. You will get enough dough to cut out your 10 rectangles, and the thickness is perfect. This is actually the thickness of regular pie doughs. So this is definitely the thickness that you want. This is the typical thickness of pie dough, and this will give you the 10 rectangles that you need with a little bit left over. Next, you're going to cut out 3 by 4 inch rectangles and re-rolling the scraps as needed to yield the 10 rectangles. The easiest way to do this is by using a ruler and a pizza cutter. So after cutting out your rectangles, you want to keep this refrigerated until you preheat your oven to make sure that the butter stays nice and cold. Next, we're going to make the filling while the oven is preheating and the dough is chilling. All it says here is to stir the ingredients in a small bowl until no dry flour remains. It doesn't tell you how to mix it, whether to use a mixer or a fork or anything. So I think this is pretty simple. I'm going to just use a fork to combine everything. So add in the packed dark brown sugar, all-purpose flour, ginger, cinnamon, ground cloves, dark rum, and the vanilla extract. And as you see, this forms kind of like a paste, really thick paste. It's not a liquid filling. I want to make sure I have even amounts of filling, so I weighed it out to be 90 grams and I'll divide that by 5. So each piece of filling will be 18 grams. Might be about 17, but between 17 and 18. So next it says to assemble, place 5 dough rectangles evenly spaced on a parchment-lined baking sheet, brush with egg, and top with the filling mixture, leaving a 1/2 of an inch border around the edges. Since this filling is a thick paste, it's pretty easy to mold and center into the pastry. Now you can also use other fillings like preserves, jams, custards, maybe even, just being mindful of the consistency. Next, you're going to top with the remaining dough rectangles to create pockets. To seal the edges, press firmly with fingers. Then, with the tines of a fork to minimize leakage. Now you want to make sure that you don't press too hard or the filling will spill out. After that, you're going to cover and refrigerate for 30 minutes while you preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you're going to brush the pockets with the egg wash. Then pierce the tops 3 to 4 times with a fork or tip of a sharp knife. Bake until golden, 15 to 17 minutes. Let pockets cool completely on baking sheet. And voila, these are how the Pop-Tarts turned out. nice and puffy, and they look pretty flaky. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think that the dough would turn out so well. I thought it would be too sticky and heavy, but they look pretty good. This is the dough that's left over. It's not very much, so maybe enough to make a mini Pop-Tart. Finally, for the icing, it says to stir icing sugar with eggnog and nutmeg until smooth. Spread over cooled pockets and top with sprinkles, if using. So what I found is that this icing is a little bit too thin, and it also makes quite a little too much for 5 Pop-Tarts. So I would recommend to have the icing and actually add more icing sugar to thicken it. And I'll show you what I did in the next step. So I added another 4 tablespoons of icing sugar, and this is a pretty good consistency. Again, a little too much for 5 Pop-Tarts, so you can get away with using half. So you're going to spread these evenly on the Pop-Tarts, leaving a little bit along the edges. And as you can see, these look pretty good. Finally, add the sprinkles if using. And you want these to firm up for about an hour before consuming. It's finally that time for a taste test. Now, these are actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting them to be so flaky, and that nice pocket in there. The filling is not too much. It didn't become liquid. It stayed pretty firm, and they're absolutely delicious. Not too much ginger flavor. I thought it'd be a little overpowering, but they actually turned out pretty well. I would give this recipe, with the little adjustments I had to make, definitely a 10 out of 10. So for another experiment, I froze these in a freezer bag, and then I'm going to see how they thaw up or toast from frozen. So I toasted this in my toaster from frozen, and maybe not the best thing to do. The icing did melt a little bit. So best thing to do would be use a toaster oven if you have. But they did bake up pretty well, and they're still nice and flaky, and the filling is just a perfect consistency. They turned out really, really well. Look at those flakes. Look at those flakes. This is really, truly delicious, especially with my cappuccino. Maybe not the healthiest breakfast, but definitely fun for the holidays. And again, you can switch out the fillings to include jams or other custards. Really play it up. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more holiday baking.